And now to one of our headlines. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is facing tough political challenge as calls for his resignation mount. An independent panel had found that Ramaphosa may have violated the constitution. This could open him up for impeachment. Ramaphosa was expected to address the South African nation today. His spokesperson earlier announced that he was still engaging with other stakeholders, including the ANC National Executive Committee.
The President appreciates the enormity of this issue, what it means for the country, the stability of government, and as a result of that, he is still processing the report, but in that exercise, he's also engaging a number of role players and stakeholders. All options are on the table, but what is important is not so much the merits or the demerits of a particular option. What is important is choosing a path or a route that first and foremost is in the interest of the country, as I've said, with respect to the stability of government as well as the stability of the country itself.
Joining us now to unpack this story in South Africa is journalist and editor Dianne Hawker. Thank you very much for joining us on the news. The findings against Ramaphosa appears quite serious. What does Section 89 panel say about the president's conduct?
Well, the Section 89 panel doesn't have, very good things to say about the president's conduct. When it was doing its inquiry, amongst the things that it looked at was what was required in terms of the Constitution and South African law for office bearers such as members of the executive. And one of the issues that the panel found that there could be a real question for the president to answer regards him continuing to conduct business while acting as a president. South Africa's legislation does not actually allow members of the executive to conduct any work while they are currently also serving in government. So Ramaphosa and any of his cabinet members can't moonlight doing anything else. Now, the president, in responding to the allegations against him, had told the panel that although he is involved in his farm, he didn't see it as doing any paid work. However, the panel looked at it and said he was actively involved in this business, and that you can't limit paid work to, only working and receiving a remuneration. If you are a business person, for example, and you are actively involved in the activities of your business, that does count as paid work. The panel also took issue with the president actually not reporting the theft at Phala farm to the appropriate authorities. There's legislation that exists in South Africa that says that, if there is a theft of an amount of money that's over 100,000 Rand, it has to be reported to the Hawks, which is, a kind of a more senior crime fighting group than the normal SAPS. And it questioned why this was not done. Of course, this is not to say that they have made any final findings, but what they are saying is that there is a prima facie case for the president to answer. And that's where he finds himself with those findings in a report of over 80 pages, saying that he really does have a prima facie case to answer.
This finding comes at a precarious time for Ramaphosa, who is standing for re-election in the ANC presidency. How is this likely to affect his bid?
I think it's going to have a particularly severe impact on his bid, considering that those who have been lobbying against him and have been lobbying for other candidates have honed in on the Phala farm issue as something for Ramaphosa to answer to. For example, the former president Jacob Zuma was speaking a few weekends ago in Cape Town, and one of the things that he said was that the police seem to be afraid of Ramaphosa and don't want to act against him. Even those who are not necessarily against Ramaphosa have asked questions about why he has not explained the large amount of money that he had on the president, on his premises publicly, as well as the steps that he took after the discovery. And I think the biggest challenge is that the president has given not much of an explanation as to why he has these large sums of money, particularly not in a public forum. He's been asked in Parliament several times, he's been asked by journalists in press conferences, and he simply has not given an answer. And that has really proven to be a big challenge for him within the ANC.
Indeed. Before we let you go, I want to get your thoughts quickly. The ANC National Executive Committee are meant to meet tomorrow. Do you know what is on the agenda?
There's one agenda item, and that's going to be Phala Phala. It's the biggest issue that the ANC will have to deal with. There are calls from opposition members and from members within the ANC itself for the president to step down. And it's understood that the main agenda item will be a discussion about what should happen next in relation to this particular scandal.
Dianne, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you.